Sawtooth Dave, what's up, guys? How y'all doing? Well, I needed to apologize right off the rip here because a few people misunderstood. So, the duo I showed you last week, I needed help nominating somebody to try to figure out if this goes to the right person or not. Some people thought it was like an open giveaway, like I was just gonna draw a name out or something like that. That's not how I intended to do it. So if you misunderstood me, I apologize. I was just looking for a good recipient for this. And honestly, man, like it's hard to sit here on the other end of social media and try to make some kind of judgment as to if someone's worthy of something or not in this particular case, because I'm not giving this away for me. I'm giving this away for, a couple other guys. So it's kind of a little bit of more weight on me as far as the making sure it goes to the right person. So I'm not even going to announce who's getting this. If they want to tell you when they get it, that's fine. But I already have the address. It's going to go to that person, and then hopefully it all work out. Sorry, I just heard something outside. I maybe stopped to think for a second, but I have no clue what that was. That's weird. Time's a constraint. Sometimes some days it works that way for me. So apologize. I'm going to talk fast and go as fast as I can. Well, first of all, let's look. Brand new hat. Jed Hornbeak hat. Well, I bought the hat and a free knife came with it. Something like that anyhow. So previously y'all have seen, I think it calls this one the Rhodesian Kermit. I've had this one. I got this one off of Billy, actually. Dig this sucker. It's a cool little knife. When I say little, I mean this is what I like in a saddlebag, that sort of thing. So I most of the time, it's 3V, so you got to keep it kind of protected a little bit. I usually slime it up with some oil and stick it in my saddlebag, but I brought it out for today. Scab and Jed teamed up, and I think Captain Electro had something to do with it too. And they come up with the Choir Boys camp knife. I still think they missed out. I should have called it the Choir Boys Outdoor Camp Knife. The acronym just works way better. Anyhow, it's a Kydex with leather wrap, so you can do the horizontal or the belt kind of dangle, which is awesome. And I'm sure you've seen it on Scab's video, but this is the sheep's foot edition 3V, and this thing is awesome. So Scab talked about it in his video. He designed it for his hands, and I will have to say it's just a scotch, ever so slightly on the cramp side for me, for my hands, but overall super nice handle, super nice knife. Jed always executes so well. Everything I've seen from him, it's just so well done. Just great quality machining, great quality finishing. Edges always come super nice. His quality is awesome. And so I got this basically to support, both a YouTuber friend and a knife maker friend. And I say that friend kind of like lightly because I don't really know either one of them like on a personal level. I mean, I know Scab a little bit. We've hung out a little bit, but not, and same, I guess I hung out with Jed Blade just a hair, but not much. But anyway, it's support thing. It's not necessarily that's something that I'm in the big gigantic Folgers. Sometimes I stray from that. So I strayed a couple times. And this other one is from another YouTuber, which you'll probably recognize that. This is Stump Lifter. So if you don't know Advanced Knife Bro, he came up with another slip joint. And why am I buying slip joints? Straight up like I just told you. Support another YouTuber. Have something cool. And this slip is, oh God, I'm sorry, dude. I can't remember your name. It's from an Advanced Knife Bro. He had one of his buddies that does, well, I say buddies loosely, but he selected this guy to do his slips for that. And if you see it, it's got the custom embossing the same as I guess they call it shield on these things, whatever. It's the little stump is what it's supposed to be. It kind of looks like a beer mug to me, but it's a stump for a stump lifter. I'm not a slip joint guy, so I kind of bought it to see, I don't know what it was about, I guess, and more or less I bought it for giveaway. That's what I bought it for. Let me not lie. I bought it to give away. And we're starting to get closer to that 1,000. So as we kind of go into it, I get closer and closer. I'll probably make an actual giveaway video, but I might not even do that. I might just, once I reach 1,000, whoever comments on that video, and I'll just pull his names or something. I always do weird stuff. Like, I'm not the most, I guess, common YouTuber. Like, I don't necessarily like to follow. We all kind of get in the same sort of things anyhow, like giveaways or YouTube things. It used to be Instagram things, but for me at least. But it kind of got spoiled over there, so I guess moving over to here, it's kind of easier to see who's been commenting, that sort of thing. And I think, to me, I would much rather have you guys, and everybody says community, but to me it's like if you're commenting, if I've seen your name a couple times, I'm generally going to recognize it. You know, if you don't have an account and you just comment as a user or whatever, I'm probably not going to recognize you as that. But, or even same in Instagram, I recognize handles and that sort of thing. I love commenting and talking to you guys. So if you guys have any reservations about it at all, you can reach out to me, Instagram, Facebook, any of that stuff. If you get any issues with any of the giveaways, I invite you to reach out. If you got knife work you want done, reach out. Let's start right here. So, Denise had sent this a while back now, almost like a couple weeks ago now. And it was one that I wasn't really sure what the plan of attack was. But this is a 15V Shaman. And what I did was originally I ground it. Well, it's kind of hard on this side. The original line stops somewhere, I don't know, 3/4 of the way through that hole or so, maybe a little less, to the flat. And then it kind of, you know, tapers off somewhere around in here-ish. And I did a 14-inch hollow ground on this one, and it just looked weird. Like it caught part of the hole, like it was kind of like a part that was up here, with the back of the wheel caught it just a little bit, and it just left like a little mark right here, and then it kind of just, it looked weird. So we decided to go and go full up. So this is a 15V Shaman, 14-inch hollow ground on it. So for those that don't know, you know, 14 inches is going to be as close to flat with a hollow grind as I can get with a 2x72. Me personally, there's other ways of doing things, but for me personally, that's the best way I can do it. And then I try to put this thing in a tumbler and stonewash it, and you can probably see it. Sorry, it's got fingerprint smudges on it. It really didn't do anything but change colors. So I don't know if that's a proponent of the 15V or just the media I have, the tumbler I have. Like all my other tumbler broke, and I try to rig something up for the lathe. I tried it in both of those. Neither one of them did anything. I tried different medias. Neither one of them did anything. So to get a good stonewash on this 15V, I think it probably needs to be more of an industrial machine than what I have. But anyhow, she also wanted a nub delete. Am I showing the right side? More or less. You can kind of see. I don't know. No. Where am I showing this? Gotta close the blade first, you dumbass. Okay, so the nub delete, so you can see that little nub. People often talk about the Shaman. So I went just below the surface. So some people will leave it more. Mine's just below the surface, and added a little bit more of a sharpening oil to it as well. But overall, I'm happy with it. She wanted the Mercado scales put on it. It had the original tan G10 scales on it. I'm not a Shaman aficionado, so I mean, I put it back together. It's I mean, tuned for me, but like you can see, it's not drop shutty. So I know some of you people like get really into the tuning the action on these Shamans. So that one's done for Denise. Denise, I'll send that one back to you. But in the meantime, her and I worked out a deal a while back. So I got, which ones came from her? I already had a couple that I showed you, and then the last one on our trade deal was this ADV Pocket Butcher. What was it called? Classic Butcher. Yeah. So this was a 2016 Butcher, and it's got the little carbon fiber here and on the back spacer. There's some things I'm going to change about it, but this might be, very well could be part of the 1000 giveaway if I don't change anything. If I change it, I'm probably going to make it more mine, and then y'all might like it or might hate it more. I don't know. There's some weird things going on with this one. So like some of the nuances of color. Can you see the colors? Like, I don't know, man. Some of the anno stuff on this. And so if you know me, which Mitch Bowling, if you watch any of his videos, he pretty much called it. He did a video on knife-tastic work. He was like, yeah, Dave's always aluminum oxide blast everything. Like, man, we got styles, man. That's just happened to be mine. So that probably will get aluminum blasted. But anyway, also in from Denise was a donation for the 1000 subscriber giveaway whenever that happens. This is, God, don't let me misquote this. It starts with an S. Samranmu? I don't know. Sanrenmu? However you say it. One of these little guys. So I think this is just a budget little frame lock. I believe this is stainless steel instead of titanium on the handles. 9008 is what it says on this side. I don't know if that's a model number or the number of the knife. But what I figured I'd do is, like, I'll put it in the giveaway, and then if you decide you want work done to it, fine. If you want it as is, that's fine. I think it's like, you know, $40 knife or something. So it's not nothing gonna break the bank. But I also figure that if you want it, it might be cool to turn, if you don't like it personally, it might be cool for you to turn around and give it away, and it probably would be something that would be better to give away basically new, because this looks, it's still in the plastic and everything, looks new to me, versus me, you know, doing my thing to it and then trying to give it away. Up to you. I'm gonna leave that up to you. So we'll put that in the 1000 subscriber. We got other stuff going in that. But thanks for the donation, Denise. Very much appreciated. Hope whoever ends up with it enjoys it as well. Going fast, going fast. Okay, what else do we got? Oh, so earlier this week, I had a day where I had time for myself to do what I wanted to do. And I got this TS346 a while back, and I had knocked the ugly off of it. So y'all know me. And back to Mitch again. Yep, aluminum oxide. I did radius the corners on mine. You know, just all done by hand, not machine. Radius corners, and then blasted it. And then also gave this in a 14-inch hollow grind as well. Obviously full all the way up hollow grind. You can see where it tapers in. Kind of sort of where the taper would kind of come. Hopefully you guys can see that in the light. Transition from flat to hollow, both sides. I like how this one came out a lot. Super clean. I posted a picture on Instagram, but really happy how that one came out. Much more my style at this point. I was originally thinking giveaway on this one, but I don't know. I kind of like it, man. I might keep it for a left pocket carry, but generally speaking, like, I hate to be generalized like this, but generally speaking, yeah, I probably won't carry it. I probably won't use it. Like, I hate to say it that way. I just customize it the way I like it, and I probably won't use it. But truth be told, I probably won't. I got so many other cooler knives that I'd rather stick in my left pocket. But I ain't saying I won't use it. I'm just saying I don't know that I will. Hopefully that makes sense. Man, I'm rambling. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just going to try to go through it quick because time. Dan's J-Cape came back. The detent ball fell out. So I got to try to fix that. If you remember from the insert I had made for this one, to fix it last time, I'm going to try to put another detent ball in it. I'm going to try to stake it a little bit better this time and see if it'll stay. I don't think I have to make a new insert. I think it's just going to be a new detent. Hopefully I'll update y'all. Okay. Yeah, let's do this. So this is another buddy of mine, Steve. There's so many Steves. Like, I don't want to mix up. Just, he'll be in the comments almost always. He didn't know what kind of knife this was. I didn't know either. So not knowing what kind of knife it is, who's going to find out quicker? Aaron. If y'all know Aaron, the dude can figure out anything super quick. So I asked Aaron. He's an Evergrow. Okay, so it's an Evergrow. I don't know what, I had a picture of it stock, but who cares? I'm just going to show you the finished product. I went ahead and made it a Tanto, and I have to put a finger tool in here, or a sharpening tool rather in there, so please forgive that. And then I kind of took it up and then kind of made it like a more broad point like that, kind of balance it. I don't know, I kind of think the way it looks, but I don't know about the flipper. Flipper stay, flipper go. Kind of undecided myself. So Aaron's looking at it, and he said, yeah, probably delete the flipper. And I let Steve look at it, and Steve didn't really have an opinion one way or the other. He just liked that I reground it. So it's fine on the thumb studs. It's fine on the, for finger flicking. So the action's good that way, so I don't really need the flipper. So I may get rid of it. I don't know. I hadn't really decided. You got an opinion, let me know. He did get the ANO work. I'm sorry, he just gifted this by his nephew. So the ANO work was done by someone else. His nephew paid to get it done. So, but overall, man, like, I know Efrengrow does a lot of the clones, and it's not really good to support a company who does shit that ain't cool, right? But overall, if you didn't have a whole lot of money, I think it's like an $80 knife to start with. It's actually a pretty good knife, man. I've actually been impressed by what I've seen for what you pay for $80. Like, it's pretty unbelievable. Let's see, going through. Okay, I got all those. Yeah, I got all those. Okay, Brother Steve Clare sent in a few. I did videos on this on like Tuesday or something like this. I got these on Monday. FedEx delivered on Monday. And this one had a ton of detent lash, so I ended up having to make a stop pin for it. But this is a Miguron. I think it's called the Arma. And before, I'm going to show you before, it does say there's nothing on it now. Before it slopped, had a lot of slop. If I have the video, I'm going to try to edit it and then impose it on this one so you can see the amount of slop that was in it. But it's gone now. It took me 3 stop pins to make it because I'm kind of sort of operating blind the way this stop pin is located up in there. Like, there's no good way of measuring to see about how much, so you just kind of guess. So and it took I made 3 stop pins before I got the one I wanted to fit. So it's got the solid detent that I want. But regrind on this one. I like the way the regrind looks on this one. Steve did tell me to go crazy on this one, do whatever I wanted to. Sounds to me like he bought it for me to give away. Not 100% sure yet, because my goal is, when people tell me that, is to make the knife custom and cool so much that when they get it back, they're like, yeah, I'm just gonna hold on to it. So that's my goal here. So handle work on this one, and I had contemplated doing this. Imagine this. Blasting it again, but I'm thinking about doing that contour and stuff too, just because there's a few little edges on these that I ain't gonna say they're bad edges, but they just kind of irritate me from a bruiser standpoint. But this blade was so thick before, it was flat ground. It was so thick before, it had a lot more forward weight to it because they hollow out the inside. Like almost all the Chinese companies do. They hollow out the inside of the titanium, which if they left it alone, it probably would have been better balanced before. But now you can see it's a lot more controlled. It ain't just going to slop. You know, before when you hit it, it would just drop. Now it's kind of more controlled. Exactly how I like a knife. You know, more control like that. So blade-wise, I don't think I want to take anything more weight out of it. I think it's got a good balance to it now. But I might do that contouring and then blast it on the scales. I might do something different, like blast it and then come back and sand it so you can see more of the texture in the... I don't know if you've seen the Migrons before, but they got a pretty good amount of little micro texture to them. So might do something to kind of enhance that visually so you can see it a little better. But almost done with the Migron. I figured I'd show it now. And then the final... whatever I get done with, I'm just going to send to Steve. So you have to check out Steve's Instagram if he shows it on Instagram. I don't know how much those cost, but I think they're fairly reasonable, you know, for if you're a budget bruiser kind of guy. When we get to bruisers, you know, bruisers aren't exactly, there's really no inexpensive, cheap ones. Maybe that Evangro I just showed you, but that's about as cheap as you're going to get anything, you know. But you're buying stateside, you're looking at probably $400 and up for anything. This one is a three-legged dog, which is from South Africa. I've already modified this one. I have no idea the cost of this, which I guess is one leg of that dog, I guess. Anyhow, flipper, I'm starting to work on this one, so no, it's not done, but the flipper was deleted, but I didn't delete it all the way. I left a little nubbin there, so you can still grab that nubbin and flick the nubbin. Stun studs are going to have to add to this one, but I don't have the equipment here to do it, so I got to go to the machine shop one day and you know, kind of bore, drill a hole, whatever I decide to do to it, I ain't sure. So it's a liner lock, and you can still finger flick this one, even with the, you know, because the blade, the way it ground back up, how high it is. You see that little spot you get in there? So you can basically just tuck your finger in there, flick away, as I almost failed it. I almost cut my finger off too. Luckily I haven't sharpened this one yet, otherwise that one would have been nasty. Just regrind, hadn't sharpened, no final bevel put on this one. Although, you know, I'm not the best at doing that sharpening. It's just going to be off a belt, and, you know, it should be off stones. Interesting knife. And this one is IKBS, and I didn't realize it when I took it apart the first time, and that shit went everywhere. So be forewarned if you get a three-legged dog. But we'll do a thumb stud disc, the same thing with this one. I'm going to let this one go back to Steve for the final. If y'all want to see the final, y'all can shoot over here his Instagram. I'm sure he'll post a picture of it sooner or later. And Steve, being the badass he is, he's going big league again. And we'll start with the Luther, the Warnock, but this one is the full size. So if y'all recall, if you watched this channel long enough, I had the medium Warnock till about beginning of October there. And I always liked that one, but for me, I'd left pocket carry it, you know, most of the time. It's not a big enough knife. The medium one wasn't big enough knife to main pocket carry. This one is. And so what would happen to me is, if my knife's sitting in my pocket, you know, here's the rest of me, but this is my left pocket, the flipper would kind of be open to the hole, and it just kind of was a little goofier. It's a sharp edge knife, so like some of these edges, you know, in here would kind of irritate you if you're going for your wallet and whatnot. So it didn't really work for me that well. That's kind of why I ended up getting rid of it. But this full size one is sweet. This is super nice. Some of the things that bother me about those sharp points and stuff like that with the smaller one don't bother me as much because it's a bigger knife. And I guess like some of the, this point stuff doesn't hit my palm as well. Like the other one, when I finger flicked it, you know, if you're banking it in like this, the way the other one was, it would bank into my palm. So I'd feel that hard spot right there in my palm. But the bigger one is just easier to grip and rip. So, man, Luther makes some really cool stuff. Don't pay attention to the broke screw. It's something that happened. It happens on knives sometimes. It's getting repaired. It ain't no big deal. But this one has Mercado, which I would have preferred, you know, the solid titanium, but it definitely has a different feel to it with it. Well, did I say Mercado? It might be G10. I don't know. One of those inlays, onlays, whatever you want to call it. But you can see it's super thick. Let's see if I can bring it up here so y'all can see. Super thick inlay on the thing. So even though it's kind of like the way that Eric Luther does it, instead of just keeping the titanium width, you know, being bigger like that, it adds that extra girth to that handle. It just fills the hand out so much better. I didn't think I was an onlay guy, and I'm generally not. Like I like a Spenza with the onlay on those. So like I kind of relate this to the same way. Like it just adds that extra little poofiness, little girth for the big hands. So big hand friendly, as JD would say. Big hand friendly. This is a badass one to check out, man. Like I love Luther's work, and I think if I had a chance to get one of these, I probably would. Like, obviously, I'd like the mine be full tie, but you know, I don't know what if Steve got this custom order or a second. I never asked him if he got a secondary or straight from the manufacturer, if he ordered or just got lucky and got one. I don't know. And you know, price wise, this is very reasonable for American made customs. I know I'm not showing y'all tabletop. I probably should, especially on gorgeous knives like this, but I got to roll, man. And then lastly, the one he sent in that kind of steals the show for me, at least, Rogovitz T4 or Titan 4, however you want to look at it. This one also has, looks like burlap micarta on this one, but I don't know. I'm bad at judging that stuff because I'm a full tie kind of guy, so I don't really get into the inlays that much. But this is one hell of a bruiser. So like last week when I showed you all Jose stuff, and even like the DSK that I'm about to show you in a minute here, like those are kind of like, for lack of a better term, let's just call them working man or thug bruisers. They're a little more the ruffian style. These are a lot more elegant. Same with the Luther. It's just a lot more like elegant style. And man, if you hadn't checked out a Rogovitz, check out one. I'm telling you, they're just unbelievable. But look at the blade stock on this one. Holy shit, that stick. And even made it stick as it is, it comes down to a pretty keen edge, man. Like, he does a hell of a job. Well, you can actually look in this plunge grind and see how much material has been removed right here to get down to that point. Like, he does a damn good job, man. Like, every time I see a new model from Rogovitz, I'm blown away because, like, the dude does awesome work, knife after knife after model, and, like, it's just unbelievable that it's no CNC at all. Like, if you know anything about doing edge chamfer or anything like that, check out this edge chamfer on this. See how it gets bigger in that point and then kind of tapers back in, but it's smooth. You don't see any chatter marks, no stop starts. Like, dude's got talent, man. The dude's got talent. Like, me personally, I don't know how to make it as clean as that. And then the lines on the side will be all even as could be, same way. And even when they come up and match, like, how do you do that by hand, man? Like, he got some stuff figured out that I need to figure out for sure. But yeah, overall, sick knife, man. The only thing I can say negative about any of the Rogovitz now is his earlier detents were a little stronger than these ones are here. These aren't bad, don't get me wrong, but they're not like super, super crisp. Like his earlier ones, and even that XR3, which is an earlier build that I borrowed from Jose a while back, which is a bigger knife than this. It had a massive detent. Like, it was so sick. Like, that was the first knife that I ever handled that I was like, oh, Diaway don't have nothing on this one. So, like, most of the time your Diaways are pretty heavy on the detent. And that first Rogovitz flipper, the big flipper that I handled, was way stronger detent. This one's a good detent, just not super, super strong. But sick knife, man. Steve, thanks for letting me check this out, dude. This thing is badass. Love it. Oh, yeah, if I didn't mention, it's got a big old, I'm going to guess that's brass. That's not copper. It's brass backspacer on this one. But this is sick, man. I really dig the knives. I like his style, too, Sergey. You know, like, in the sea of the same stuff, you're never going to see the same stuff from Sergovitz or Rogovitz. He's just like always a little different thought, right? Always a little different. And lastly, because I'm kind of in a rush, sorry, I got another DSK. So thanks to my brother Jose, and he sent that other Atreyu in here. This was also a big thanks to Nick, who actually helped me with the trade, did the trade with me. I met Nick through Instagram, and look, this is cool. I'll share the story real quick. So Nick had never done trades before, buying and selling. I don't know, but he's never done trade before. So luckily, he had a little faith. You know, he trusted me. I trusted him. I put my trust in him. I sent him a Medford. He sent me back to DSK after he got the Medford, knowing he liked the Medford better than the DSK. So this one worked out perfectly. So as I was saying, I mentioned last week, you know, especially with Dan in particular, like if you find a version of a knife, you like the knife, but you don't like necessarily the version of how he's finished it or whatever else, you wait long enough, you'll find one. So the first one of these I had kind of more pointy, sharper corners, and how he did the edge bevels was it just didn't gel with me at all. So I ended up trading that one. After I seen Jose's last weekend, I was like, man, I forgot how much I liked the knife. It just that particular version of it didn't work for me. This one right here was kind of on deck anyhow. So Nick and I had already kind of talked about it. Luckily, this one has a little bit weaker detent, which normally for DSKs is like something that you're like, oh man, it's a weaker detent. You want a stronger detent. So the flipper's a little lazier on this one, but the finger flick is on point with this one. So this one may get a flipper delete. I'm contemplating flipper deleting this and maybe radiusing the corners of the scales. And imagine that, blast it in acid wash. Never would have guessed, right? All right, so that was a quick one. I'm sorry, almost 25 minutes. I'm going to call it this week. Y'all be cool. See you next week. Later, y'all.